1965 was a turning point year. Small clubs glowing neon, regional labels hustling hard, and R&B bands carving out raw, unfiltered magic. Groups like the Hesitations were quietly crafting harmonies that could stop time, while the Apollos carried a fire most listeners never knew they were missing. These are 10 overlooked gems from 1965, bands that shaped the sound beneath the spotlight and still deserve your ears today. Number 10. Soul Clinic by the Capitals. They were not headliners at first, just 3 Detroit kids hustling their way through the same gritty circuit that Motown giants were dominating. By 1965, the Capitals had signed a modest deal with Caron Records, cutting tight R&B tracks that blended street corner harmonies with the punch of Northern soul. What makes this era so fascinating is how close they came to disappearing into the shadows. Working without the marketing muscle of bigger labels, playing gymnasiums, skating rinks, and late-night reviews. One surprising detail from their early sessions is that an uncredited Motown house musician reportedly sat in on guitar, shaping the biting rhythm line that fans now consider their signature. Spin their 1965 cuts, and you can almost smell the waxed dance floors of neighborhood teen clubs, kids twirling under fluorescent lights while the band sweats under cheap stage bulbs. Though they were later overshadowed by their 1966 breakout hit, the groundwork they laid in 1965 influenced regional R&B DJs and helped shape the sound that would soon sweep the Midwest. Their groove was unpolished, urgent, and joyful, and that is exactly why they endure. If this was the sound of Detroit's backstreets, the next entry carries the heat of a different city entirely. Number 9. I Can't Wait by the Apollos. Out of Oakland's vibrant mid-60s scene came the Apollos, a trio whose harmony shimmered with West Coast sunshine even when they were singing heartbreak. By 1965, they were recording under Loma Records, a Warner Brothers subsidiary created to spotlight rising R&B acts that did not fit the polished mainstream mold. Their early sides floated somewhere between girl group elegance and church-born soul. Songs that should have been national hits, but stayed mostly regional treasures. One little-known story is how their producer insisted on recording them late at night, claiming their voices carried more spiritual ache after sundown. Whether it was superstition or genuine insight, it worked. The takes from 1965 echo with a half-dreamy glow. You can picture the studio clearly. Dim lamps, quiet hallways, and reel-to-reel tape rolling while Bay Area fog drifted outside. That I want you. Do you really believe that I need you? Though they never cracked the national charts as they deserved, their impact came later when Northern soul collectors rediscovered them. Modern DJs still spin their earliest tracks for dancers who crave that mixture of subtle swing and bittersweet warmth. Their sound whispers, glides, and then hits you right in the memory. If this one was all velvet edges, wait until you hear the raw power building at number 8. Number 8. Get on the Road by the Chartbusters. This Washington, D.C. outfit never got the spotlight their talent warranted. Recording for small regional labels throughout 1960, the Chartbusters were a working musicians band. Tight rhythm section, ragged, sweet vocals, and arrangements that blended R&B grit with garage-leaning bite. They would open for bigger touring acts, then steal the show with a ferocity no record truly captured. A favorite detail from their sessions involves the studio's only functioning amp blowing mid-take. Instead of stopping, the band powered through, and that distorted crackle became the defining texture of the track. It is proof that imperfection can make the moment unforgettable. Their recordings smell like sweat and cigarette haze, with the restless DC nightlife energy pulsing through every bar. Though they never charted, their tapes became cult favorites among collectors. Later rock and blue-eyed soul artists cited them as the kind of band you did not know yet, but absolutely should have. Their legacy is a fuse waiting to be lit. If their ragged edge grabbed you, the next band brings a smoother kind of fire. Number 7. Lean on Me Baby by the Five Dutones. Chicago's South Side was bursting with R&B heat in 1965, and the Five Dutones were right at the center of it, squeezing every bit of emotion they had into small label singles that rarely made it past state lines. Signed to Wonderful Records, they blended playful shouts with gospel-born grit, creating a sound that danced right on the edge of chaos.
There's no reply. Your silence tells me more than any words. You're scared of the dark.
Many fans never knew that during their 1965 sessions, two members were juggling day jobs, one in a meatpacking warehouse and the other sweeping floors at a neighborhood theater. They would rush across town, sometimes still in work clothes, just to record vocals deep into the night. You can hear that urgency in every phrase. The studio was tiny, with faded carpet, flickering lights, and the steady rumble of the L train bleeding faintly into the background as they fought to capture the perfect take. Although their 1965 output never got the radio push it deserved, those tracks were later embraced by England's northern soul scene. DJs spun them for dancers who lived for that frantic, unstoppable energy. Their music carried the sound of determination and joy wrapped together. If this one had you swaying in the grit of Chicago streets, the next entry softens the mood with a velvet glow. Number 6. The Movie System House. Stay a Little Longer by the Modettes.
Stay a little longer, take a little longer.
Few remember the Modettes today, an integrated harmony-rich R&B group rising from Philadelphia's thriving club circuit in 1960. Signed briefly to Arctic Records, they recorded a handful of singles that shimmered with Philly's signature blend of doo-wop sweetness and soulful longing. Their songs felt intimate, like someone singing directly into your headphones before the world had even adopted headphones as we know them.
I can't stand these walls without you inside them.
One of the most intriguing stories from their brief run involves a lost master tape. According to former studio staff, the original take of Stay a Little Longer, a version said to be even more emotional than the released recording, vanished during a facility move. Rumor says it still sits mislabeled in a dusty box somewhere in the city. That mystery adds a ghostly charm to every listen. Close your eyes and you can feel the warm hum of tube amps, the shifting footsteps of musicians preparing for another take, and the quiet confidence of a group who knew they had something special, even if history nearly forgot them.
Stay a little longer, take a little longer to back up.
Their influence echoed later through Philly soul acts who refined the blueprint the Modettes helped sketch. If this delicate shimmer pulled at your heart, the energy changes again at number 5. If these forgotten R&B treasures from 1965 are stirring memories or helping you discover new ones, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. It helps keep this musical history alive. And stick around, we still have 5 more hidden gems waiting for you. Number 5, Don't Wait Too Long by The Vibrations.
Don't wait too long.
By 1910, The Vibrations were seasoned performers rising from Los Angeles' bustling R&B underground. Although they later earned recognition with soulful dance floor favorites, their mid-decade recordings on the OK label captured the rawest and most emotional version of their sound. Their harmonies had a streetwise edge, their rhythm work hit with precision, and their delivery carried a surprising emotional weight that sneaks up on you.
Won't you teach me how to make you proud, to wanna let...
A lesser-known detail from this period is that one of their sessions nearly collapsed when the lead singer was hit with a sudden case of laryngitis. Instead of canceling, they slowed the arrangement and embraced the roughness in his voice. The result was a performance that felt weary, intimate, and beautifully vulnerable. Imagine that cramped Hollywood studio, amp tubes glowing, cigarette smoke floating in the air. Everyone huddled around a shared microphone, trying to capture magic before the moment passed.
We don't got all the time in the world, make up your mind.
The single did not chart nationally, but it found a second life decades later on dance floors and collector circuits. DJs adored its restless lift, a feeling somewhere between longing and quiet defiance. Anyone who has ever waited for love to show up at the edge of a dim room can hear themselves in that song. If this one gave you a chill, the smooth but smoldering groove at number 4 will wrap around you even deeper. Number 4, Love Keeps Calling Me by The Incredibles. Before they found modest acclaim later in the decade, The Incredibles were hustling through the maze of small Los Angeles labels, recording for outfits like Audio Arts while competing with countless West Coast acts. Their sound in 1965 was in full bloom, warm baritone leads, floating high harmonies, and arrangements that mixed LA sophistication with heartfelt soul yearning. An unforgettable detail from this era is the story of a string arranger who reportedly wrote the entire orchestral chart for this track in a hallway during a lunch break.
Calling me back. Love.
The label did not want to pay for extra studio time, so the arranger scribbled it all by hand on the spot. Odd as it sounds, the result was a blend of urgency and elegance. The strings shimmer, and the vocals rise with earthy emotion. Play their 1965 recordings, and you can feel the Pacific breeze drifting through the city, neon signs humming to life along Sunset Boulevard, and the quiet persistence of a group fighting for recognition.
Calling me back, telling me to try.
Their songs traveled far, reaching American soldiers overseas who treasured them as reminders of home. Years later, collectors would elevate their early tracks as essential examples of West Coast soul. If this one wrapped around you like a warm night, the next band brings a deeper glow and a story you will not forget. Number 3, Hold On To Me by The Radiants.
Know that I'm alive.
Chicago in 1965 was a magnet for rising soul groups, and The Radiants were among the city's most quietly brilliant voices. Signed to Chess Records, they existed in a wonderfully unique space. Too gospel-rooted to be pure pop, too silky smooth to be gritty soul, yet capturing the very best of both worlds. Their lineup shift that year added a new emotional depth to their sound, and their mid-decade records shimmer with feeling for those who take the time to listen.
Working so hard to survive.
A lesser-known anecdote from their recording days involves a Chess Records engineer who swore they performed better with the lights almost entirely off. During one late-night session, he turned off all the overhead bulbs and left only a small desk lamp glowing behind the control panel. The Radiants began singing, and what came through the speakers was so intimate and so human that the engineer described it as a whispered confession set to music. Play their 1965 material today, and you can sense that dim studio, the hum of aging equipment, and the soft texture of soundproofing foam warmed by the bodies in the room.
Hold on to me in the
Their voices rise and blend like a single instrument, full of yearning and quiet bravery. They did not become national stars, but later generations of soul fans would hail them as one of the decade's most underrated treasures. If this one stirred something deep within you, get ready, because the next band arrives carrying the full, fiery groove of the Carolina coast. Number 2, My Love Don't Fade by The Showmen. Though rooted in Norfolk, Virginia, The Showmen carried the unmistakable spirit of Carolina beach soul, a style that blended gospel fire with dance floor warmth. By 1965, they were recording for small regional labels, crafting songs that had the emotional lift of church music and the joyful sway of a summer boardwalk. They might not have had major label backing, but their performances sparkled with road-tested confidence. One of the most charming behind-the-scenes stories from this era involves a recording date nearly falling apart when the studio's organ broke mid-rehearsal. The band insisted that the track needed that instrument's emotional pull. The engineer scrambled and found a local church musician who rushed in still wearing her choir dress. She sat down and delivered a swirling organ part that transformed the entire arrangement. It was a moment of pure R&B fate. Spin the track, and you are transported to a warm southern evening. Salt air drifting through the pavilion, teenagers dancing barefoot on wooden floors, the rhythm section pushing the groove like they were trying to make the night last forever. Though they did not chart nationally in 1965, their sound would later explode in the Carolina beach music circuit, where it remains beloved to this day. If this one set your heart moving, nothing prepares you for the obscure masterpiece waiting at number 1. Number 1. Tell Me You're There by The Hesitations.
Tell me you're there. I need you.
Before they earned modest success later in the decade, The Hesitations were a Cleveland-based group grinding tirelessly through 1960. Their sound blended street corner doo-wop, church-born passion, and a silky professionalism that went far beyond the tiny budgets they worked with. Signed briefly to Cap Records, they often recorded in small rented studios, rooms where ceiling tiles rattled whenever the bass amp landed on a heavy note. Their 1965 singles never broke into national charts, but they captured a level of emotional honesty that bigger name acts sometimes missed.
All nights long and quiet. Think of you.
One remarkable story from this era involves a rehearsal night when the building's power went out mid-song. Instead of stopping, the group continued harmonizing in the dark stairwell. Their voices echoed with haunting clarity, and a visiting songwriter happened to be passing through the hallway at that exact moment. Captivated, he urged them to record the song before the week was over. The session that followed was lit mostly by lamps and powered with borrowed gear. Yet, it produced what many collectors now consider one of the most beautiful and overlooked R&B recordings of the entire year. Listen today, and you can almost feel that stairwell air. The warmth of bodies huddled close, the dust in the corners, and the fierce determination of a group who knew success was not promised.
Just a text, wish you'd come. Tell me you're there.
They sang as if the world was already listening. Their influence reappears in retro soul revivals and in the collectors who treat those early singles as priceless artifacts. The Hesitations may not have been household names, but they carved their emotions directly into vinyl. And with that, our journey through these 10 overlooked R&B treasures from 1965 comes to a heartfelt close. From fog-soaked West Coast studios to neon-lit Chicago nights, these 10 overlooked bands remind us how deep, soulful, and surprising 1965 truly was. Thank you for taking this nostalgic ride with me. If you enjoyed rediscovering these hidden gems, subscribe to keep the groove alive and never miss our next musical deep dive. For the perfect follow-up, click the end screen now to watch our next video titled 10 Forgotten One-Hit R&B Wonders from 1983. Let us keep the rhythm rolling, keep the